Ladies and gentlemen, Hex community of all ages, hey, Jake Freedom here, coming to you live from YouTube for this week's Hex Update Saturday for February 22nd, 2014. This week we've had another patch rollout, patch number 824, I think it was. And not a huge patch. It's fairly small in comparison to patches in the past. But we got some really cool new things this time. The one main thing I'm really excited about is the new card borders. And we kind of knew that the card borders were coming because if you follow along with Corey Jones's blog, right at the very bottom of his blog this week here, he talked about having new card borders on the actual cards, and they do look impressive. So I had to actually update my card for my videos here because the other one I had on there was like 2 versions old. So, and I love the way the new cards look, so I just had to throw one in here. And I even left the Thunderbird in the background this time because I think he is really impressive, and I didn't remove him out of there. So we'll go ahead and take a closer look at those in a minute here. But first of all, let's just go ahead and talk about the new features. And the only one new feature that they've mentioned is the new card frames. In addition to there's new art. We've increased the size of the attack and defense threshold, the attack and defense, which is well, let's just pull one up here right now. So what we got here, they've increased the size here, they've increased the size there. On the side too, where the threshold is, I like what they're doing there. I really like how that looks, with the little teardrops there. I like that. I really like that. I mean, the whole card layout is just impressive, I think. And this here gives you the rarity instead of being down on the very bottom there. One thing that is missing from the card, which hopefully it'll be like on the double back, is the number. What card number it is. I don't see that anywhere here on the actual card. So maybe on the double back, when you can actually get to it, maybe that will show the actual what number and what set it's from. I really like to know that kind of stuff because that's just me. So basically, what you have here is this button here. When once active, it'll be the double back, so you can look at the back or the double back. And this one here they called it card modifications or something along those lines. So I don't know if that'll show like if the card has buffs or debuffs or something like that. And then also we have the rarity symbol, and then it's I think this is the uniqueness, the unique symbol. We can find one that we know is a unique, for example, or unique for sure, like Ozawa. Okay, yes, so he is unique, so that's the yellow symbol there, and he is a legendary. I think that's what that is there, epic or legendary. So yeah, again, impressive layout. I like what they're doing here on the sides. Hopefully this sticks. I can't really see him changing a whole lot of other things. I mean, this looks really good. Much better. This is 1,000 miles away from where they were, and I hopefully they stick with this direction here. If they do change stuff, hopefully it's gonna be very little. Super impressed with the way it looks. So hopefully you are too. Other than that, some general things during a game. Keywords are zoomed in. Keywords on zoomed-in cards are now listed to the left of the card. This fixes problems with overlapping text and abilities, such as things with like Living Totem, who had a lot of abilities and whatnot. They fixed an issue with some accounts not being able to play AI games, and Chris Woods went into some great detail on their update on the forums there and explained what actually happened. If you're familiar with the industry and how things in the background work, you can probably follow along with it. But if you're not, it might leave you a little lost. So if you want to kind of check it out, he tries to explain it in a simpler version. He did really well, but I still think it can take a little bit of knowledge in the industry or the background there to actually be able to figure out what he's talking about. But also, the restore default button now works correctly in the phase stop menu. I wasn't aware it wasn't working because I don't adjust my phase stops. I want every phase stop to activate, so I just leave them all off or on, however you want to say it. Let's see here. Cards that go in a graveyard now go to the proper graveyard. There was an issue with when you were milling cards or whatnot. Anything where you took cards away from somebody and put things into their graveyard that actually come over to your graveyard, so it kind of screwed up things of trying to, use a card to pull cards out of your graveyard. It would kind of mess things up that way. Also, typing R in chat when in the tournament lobby will no longer clear text and reply to the last whisper. Wasn't aware that did that. I don't chat a whole lot in the tournament lobby. I just sit there and wait for my sealed tournament to start, and then I chat with my opponent and not with everybody in general. Another good thing too is Card Manager will now remember the last deck that you played, so that's really cool. Instead of always loading up, you know, the top deck or some default deck, whatever one's on your top of your list, remember the last one you played, so you don't have to go into that and select it. Hopefully that does that too when you play like the AI. I'm not sure yet. I haven't played the AI since the patch came out. Haven't had a whole lot of time to play the game since the patch came out on Thursday. Things are kind of getting busy around my household here with different things going on, and that the springtime is quickly upon us, and things have to be done before then. So, other than that, we have a few new cards. We'll get to those in just one second. We're going to go over some gameplay stuff. In the gameplay, players can no longer have 2 Lixels, the Death Gems, in play. Also, the Shield Trainer is now correctly a common. Kraken Guard Mariner is now correctly an uncommon. Let's see, Archmage Renlock has its correct text back. And then the Chimera Guard Outrider has its correct text back. Just a few known issues yet. The Collector's Information Tooltip on cards is not yet implemented, so that's probably what they're talking about, where the numbers are gone. So obviously it looks like they are going to bring that back, which is good. The card modification button on cards is not yet implemented, which we knew, and the old resource frame on the game screen and in text boxes have not yet changed to match the new frames. Basically, I think what they're talking about there is the actual resources themselves. If we go take a look, I could have pulled them up here. These, I'm guessing maybe they're going to change these a little bit. They just doesn't have a frame, and they've kind of got a couple of things here going on, but no need to worry. I'm sure they'll get that corrected, no problem. All right, so on to some new cards here of the week, and the first one we're going to start out with here is Chimes of the Zodiac, 7-cost artifact, rare. When you play an action, copy it. You may choose new target for the copy. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you play Murder. Murder is an action, and this thing here, you'll murder the one card, and this thing here will copy, and then you can choose another card, so you can get kind of a 2-for-1 deal. That's a pretty good card. A little expensive, really expensive, I think. Since it's an action, you know, so because the card's going to go away anyway, whether it's a basic or quick action, I think that cost could come down a bit, but the overall mechanic is super powerful, so it probably won't come down. But all in all here, wicked card. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think I'm going to probably use this one. Maybe. We'll see how useful it is being 7 cost. So by the time you're getting up to 7 cost, unless you can ramp up your stuff, yeah, you never know. You know, I think it's a good card. You know, I'll give that an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 for sure. Not a problem there at all. Next card we're going to talk about here is Inferno, and Inferno is probably a ruby since it's talking about fire. All right, Inferno, 3 cost, 2 ruby threshold, constant. The art here is odd. Just looks, doesn't really look like an Inferno to me. It looks like a, you know, I don't know. That's not what I imagine an Inferno looking like. That kind of looks like you're looking down into a boiling pool of molten steel in a way. I don't know. Anyway, constant. This constant enters play with an Inferno counter. At the start of each champion's turn, choose one at random. See this? Choose one at random. If it's at random, you can't choose. Okay, it should say the computer or the client will choose one for you at random. Add an Inferno counter to this constant. Oh, we can see there's a typo there. No big deal. We'll get that corrected. Add an Inferno counter to this constant or deal 1 damage to that champion for each Inferno counter on this constant. So it's kind of a 50-50 whether or not, you know, this is going to just add a counter or deal 1 damage for each counter that is on it. So, 3 cost, 2 threshold, I don't know. I don't know how useful that'll be. It's kind of like, yeah, okay, let's have it out there. Lower it to 1 threshold, maybe. You know, because, man, I mean, you know, I don't know. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, it's not always going to guarantee damage, but it's, you know, it's going to at least damage something. So maybe the 3-2 is right. Yeah, I think maybe. I don't know. We'll try it out, see how it actually works. It's kind of a cool mechanic. It's kind of similar to with those other cards that, you know, at the beginning of a turn, you know, deal 2 damage to yourself or 1 damage or whatever. So, but those are, you know, no matter what's going to happen this year, it's 50-50 shot whether or not it's going to happen. But if it doesn't deal damage, it's going to add a counter. So the next time it deals damage, it'll be 1 more. So, yeah, it could be a good card. Next one here is Zombie Plague. Just by the name of it, sounds like it's going to be a blood card. Oh, and that was right. Okay, Zombie Plague, 2 cost, 2 threshold, constant, legendary. At the start of your turn, reveal 3 random cards from each opposing champion's deck. Each troop revealed this way gets permanent -1/-1. If a troop's defense is reduced to 0 or less this way, revert it, then transform it into a zombie and put it into play under your control. That's kind of cool. You know, it gets reverted to a zombie, so I don't know if it's not going to be that one there. So let's take a look and see if we can click on it. It's going to become this. It's going to be, wow, nice, a 2/2 zombie that you can possibly get out of that. That isn't bad at all. Yeah, I like that. You know, I'm not a huge blood fan, but I like it. And this art here is kind of wicked too. I think it's going to need to be updated because it's kind of low res. I don't know if it doesn't look as crisp as it could be, but I think they're probably going to end up changing that. But yeah, the Zombie Plague here. Yeah, I definitely like that card there. It's kind of, I don't know if it's their way to try to make up for, you know, throwing Persecute out of the deck or what, but yeah, I like it a lot. So I'm going to give that card, you know, a 9, maybe 9.5. We'll see how well it works though in actual play. Other than that, like I said, Corey's blog this week here didn't have a whole lot other than talking about the new frames of the cards there. And I do have to apologize. Last week, like I said, I didn't check his blog out, and I should have, because it was littered with new stuff that they were talking about, and I missed the boat on that one completely. Like I said, last week was kind of chaotic for me, and I didn't get a whole lot of time to do what I wanted to do, but that's okay. From now on, I now get updates when he updates his blog, so I know what's going on and can try to stay in the loop to try to keep you in the loop. Other than that, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these videos, go ahead and click subscribe, and we'll have another video for you soon.